one.
And we're off.
We're on.
Off,
We're
on.
off, on, backwards.
Which one are we doing? Sideways?
Do we normally go off or do we normally go on? I think we
We
normally
fucking go off.
we go the fuck off, man.
We're back.
All right.
And we're triple back to back guests.
Back to
we've
back.
never done that before. I think we've done back to back guests.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done back to back.
No, not the trifecta.
Not the trifecta
Yeah.
of guests. And we're here with a very good friend of mine, a blue belt in, I can't even pronounce what she said that it was, a mixed martial arts of some
KGB.
kind. It
No,
wasn't.
it's not KGB.
Some Russian martial art. She's also the co-founder, I guess you would call it, with you and your dad of Street Smart Self-Defense. Have I nailed that?
Women's self-defense.
And women's self-defense, is it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Massive welcome to Ebony. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Very nervous, young Ebony at the moment, but we're going to...
As expected.
We're gonna
It's
talk
okay.
her through it. She could kick both our fucking heads.
Exactly.
She's nervous. To go
Yeah,
and
yeah,
talk to
yeah,
us
that's
like
it,
this. But Ebs, thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, I've known you for like 10 years now. Obviously, we were both a couple of scallywags in our younger
Getting
days,
up to
and
some mischief.
we met through some mutual friends. And you had a very awesome boyfriend at that time when we first met, who I'm glad that you're no longer with anymore. Obviously now, as I said, we've been friends for about 10 years, and I wanted to get you on because I think that. What you're doing at the moment with the Street Smart Self-Defense is such a fucking awesome idea, and so cool to have that thought. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came about? I want to go back and talk about your history with the martial arts, but let's focus on that for now. How did the self-defense thing come about?
So Street Smart's come about with my dad. After talking about it with him, it's been his idea, his baby for a long time. We found that we were like the only dedicated women's self-defense in Northern Suburbs.
Yeah.
We don't really know of any others that do what we do.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any dedicated.
No. So there's jiu-jitsu or there's boxing or there's karate, but not a dedicated self-defense for women.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just across the martial arts skills that we learnt and the boxing skills that my dad has, and put together into moves that can work on the street to help protect, hopefully save some women, or they never have to use it and they just know it for the sake of it.
Yeah, which is always good.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the confidence, because it's not just about because obviously you hope that they never get confronted with that situation, but a lot of it. For example, Erica doesn't like walking. We live in fucking Manapara.
Yeah.
She doesn't like walking even on her own, even when it's daytime, because it's just, we know the fucking kind of characters. So, that kind of stuff, giving people the confidence that I can just fucking go for a walk around my area.
Yeah.
Or no, I can walk to my car at night time and I'm not going to be in a situation where I don't feel like I can at least, try and protect myself.
Yeah.
That in itself is probably the biggest thing for me is being able to give as many girls that as possible.
It's girl, like your kids now that you're looking at school. It's your mum, like the shops, handbag thieves, there's car thieves, there's like people robbing people walking in the trails. So just having that ability to do something, to know something that might save them is pretty huge for us. We don't do it for the money or our time. We want to teach people to be safe, look after themselves.
Yeah. And that's really good, because like it's all well and good learning like patterns and locks and chokes and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, if you're confronted with the dude that's got like a pole or something like that, or whatever it may be in a real life situation, you're not going to remember a fucking upside down triangle choke or whatever the fuck it is. Like you just need to know how to get out of a dangerous situation. So that's really what you want. Yeah,
we're big on when you get money out the ATM at night, when you get into your car after work, when you leave the pokies, you've had a win, it's in your handbag, stuff like anything like that. It's just an everyday situation. Drunk dudes in the pub, or drunk girls in the pub. It's not just dudes, but those situations that they can be serious. And I'm only little. We don't, you don't need to be big. You don't need to be strong. You don't need to be fit. It's just these simple and they're dirty moves. They're just dirty fight moves.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether they're dirty or not. Like living is living.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
like that's how I've always thought about like martial arts and stuff like that as well. It's like if you're getting into a serious fight, it's sometimes life or death. It doesn't matter if you got to kick him in the balls, kick him in the balls. Like who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Like,
put a high heel in there.
Yeah.
Go your hardest. I think as well, I think back to nearly every. I think going back to the confidence thing and how I think this would impact these kind of scenarios, nearly every fight that I got into in town, other than me being a fucking idiot, was in defense of a girl where a guy was being handsy, being over the top or whatever. And so I think that if a girl had confidence that if this guy tries to, she can fucking wrist lock the motherfucker, do whatever, they would put up with that a lot less. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the time, the reason that they shut down or whatever is because they don't feel safe in that situation.
Yeah.
And they don't know what they could do if he decides to try and overpower him.
Yeah.
So they fucking deal with it until someone like me sees that girl being uncomfortable and decides to fucking pipe up.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's another thing where, you know, a girl can just go out and be like, I can go to town, or I can go to the fucking slug, or I can go to Exchange in Gawler and feel like, you know, I can dance even if my girls have gone off to the toilet or whatever, and I'm just going to be okay because I don't give a fuck what anyone do. You know what I mean? Like, any of that kind of thing is just so important for me, because it's insane the amount of times that I've seen and bear witness to that situation. And I'm just one person. I'm sure you've seen it out and about before.
Yeah, definitely.
You've probably experienced it. And that's just crazy to me. And like you said, all those other situations, getting money out, wanting to go for a walk with your dog, you know, if you're a fucking single woman, you don't have a partner, or you're living with your kid, you should be able to go for a fucking walk around your street and feel like you're safe.
And it's even like, you know, I've got young kids and thinking about seeing the stuff on the news, like them girls that bash the chick at Macca's, stuff like that. Like, it's not the old school brawl, like everyone gets around and you have a little throwdown and then it's all over. These kids are getting hurt, like really hurt, and there's all these one punch like incidents that are killing people all over the place. Like, it's, you know, thinking about teaching the kids and making sure they're safe, but it's discipline as well. It's not I'm a hero, I can go out and you know, hurt people. It's, you know, trying to teach them that this is serious, like it's
that's
for safety.
Yeah, teach them the opposite. Like, I know, like, when I learned the martial arts that I've learned over the years, it's not about going like, I could smash anybody out. It's about not doing that.
Yes, yeah.
Like, it's
the restraint until it needs to be.
The discipline and stuff like that. So how do you find, like, teaching that? Do you find that a lot of people are, like, getting the hang of it quite easily, or do you find that it varies a lot?
It varies. I mean, we've got some pretty young street smarters. We've got a couple of older ones. A few pick it up a lot easier than the others. The kids sort of don't seem to grasp the seriousness of what it is they're actually learning, I guess, because, you know, with their age. But physically, they're coming along. Their punches and their stance and all that sort of stuff's come a long way. The older lady I've even had one of the ladies, she, as she kept coming, she'd say, now I feel more comfortable going to the pokies. Like, when she'd go out, she wasn't so nervous at the pub. She wasn't having that anxiety of, you know, the drunk people around her and stuff.
There's that confidence.
Yeah. And so it's great. It's beautiful to watch them, like, learn, and when you see it click in their head, like, yes, this is what it's for and this is what I can do. And, you know, it's a lot of it's repetitiveness, like practice. So it becomes
the muscle memory.
But so it becomes, so if someone grabs you from behind, that instant reaction is what we've taught you. So it's just repetitiveness. But watching them pick it up, and then even like watching them execute it, and when they start to get it, it's just pretty awesome to see.
That's so cool. And again, like, the other thing that we probably haven't mentioned that I think is a fucking epidemic in itself, obviously domestic violence. So, you know, giving these women, and again, these people that learn that, who knows, down the track, they've been a student of yours forever, they decide to teach some other people some stuff that they've learned. Like, it creates that grassroots movement, and hopefully more people see how valuable it is of talking about it, and, you know, you guys grow to the point that it brings other people in, because, you know, it's not talked about enough, and it's not really something we've touched on enough here. Is, you know, we're seeing deaths. There's one that I saw in the news the other day where they rocked up to find that woman had been killed, and it's just like, that's insane to me how much that is and how much it isn't talked about.
It is pretty scary. And I mean, don't get me wrong, teaching them this stuff, like, it is scary. You know, if you thought of someone that was in a situation, you know, you're teaching them this stuff, and what if they don't use it correctly, or what if it doesn't work correctly? Would that end up getting them hurt more? But then it's that same thing of, are they going to get hurt anyway? At least they've got a chance now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we don't teach them to stand and throw down. We sort of teach them something that will get them away and then to run.
Like
of course. You know, running's just...
but it may give them the confidence, because you think about a lot of the situations where it's that fear of what that person is going to try to do or whatever that keeps them in that house. Keeps them in that situation. So if they think, fuck it, I'm going to get the kids or I'm going to leave.
Yep.
And then when he tries to or whatever, I'm in a situation, I feel like I'm comfortable enough to be able to try and diffuse that to the point that I'm going to be able to get free again, whatever it may be. Like, because that first step, that jump to go, I'm fucking going, is the thing that I feel, from the understanding that I've had from people that have experienced it, that's always the hardest. So if you can get them to get to the point of being like, you know what, I'm gonna, and it might be a thing where they end up having to come and get fucking lessons on the bloody quiet or whatever because they're dealing with that to get to the point. But anything that can help them in that situation is so important. And as you said, it's not around. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, I have had a few, inboxes where it's sort of, I think they've been feeling out what, the sort of privacy or confidentiality of it. I mean, that's obviously huge to us, and we try to say like we're a really supportive group, and they're a lovely group of women, and the girls. There's nothing, we'd never talk about anything that weren't comfortable with.
Yep.
And we often say to them, like, is there something that you want to learn, or is there a situation you're concerned about? Is there something that happens to you or happens to someone that you'd like to learn a defence for? Because if we don't know it, me and Dad work on it. So if we don't have something at the minute that we can think will help you, we try and find something that will help you.
Yeah.
So with his, all his, between his martial arts and his boxing, we can normally come up with something that's pretty effective.
Yeah. Well, it was even just in the fucking news, John Jones, did you see the UFC fighter?
Yes.
He's got inducted into the Hall of Fame. You would have heard of John Jones.
Yeah, I know John Jones. Yeah.
Been arrested the following morning.
I thought it was like an hour later.
He was like, got into the hotel room at 12 a.m., grabbed 10 grand, and then 5 hours later, his missus is down at the security guard with a fucking fat lip and whatever. Oh. And like, again, he's probably going to be allowed to fight and do whatever. Like, he'll end up fucking skating the system because of who he is.
Yeah.
And that's what's fucking the problem. And what also broke my heart is her saying to the security guard, oh no, I've just she's got a swollen bleeding lip. Oh, it's just the humidity, like rah rah, like those kind of, excuses that these poor women will make for these fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Because they're fearful. And obviously in this situation, you're talking about one of the most dangerous fucking human beings on the planet.
Yeah.
He's fucking 6 foot whatever, can use every fucking part of his body to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter what you'd learn in that situation, but that's not every situation. You know what I mean?
No.
Like
you need to learn how to reload a magazine in that situation.
That's right. Fucking go to a rifle range. But in most situations, it is just some fucking piece of shit that is not dealt with his own fucking problems, and then he's being handsy. And I want to see more attention on that. I want to see more discussion around that. But I also want these women to be able to hopefully find their way to you.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, I hope people, if anyone's listening to this podcast, obviously you've got the Facebook page, reach out and have a chat to Ebbs. And I know our partners both went down there and had a lesson and were pretty happy with how awesome it is. So, please reach out and have a chat, because I think that it's something that's so important. You're obviously really enjoying it as well, which I think is such a cool thing. Is it giving you more confidence?
I'm training for a fight. I'm training for a boxing fight.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love it, and like I said, and I get to spend some time with Summer. So I take my stepdaughter, and my niece comes. She's been there from the start, so she does really well too. But I sort of use that as my stepping to start with the training for boxing for Dad. But it's good because I get to teach. They help me learn, and I help them. So it's good.
So tell us about your journey. I'm actually intrigued. Like from the very start. What was the first martial art you did?
Story that was. So I started going to KJK, which is Kung Jitsu Kai. It's a mixed martial arts dojo in Surrey Downs.
That was the thing I was trying to say at the beginning.
Yeah, the KGB.
Kung Jitsu Kai.
Kung Jitsu Kai. There you go.
So
it's not that even that hard.
No, not really.
They are a fantastic bunch of people. Probably some of the best people I've ever met in my life. They're awesome.
Shout out to them.
They are absolutely. They are total legends. But they started me there as a white belt with Dad. He was already a black belt in Wing Chun. So he took his knowledge up there and trains with that. And then we do jiu-jitsu and judo and karate and kempo and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And then there was, aikido and stuff up there as well. So they started training with weapons with Dad. And
cool.
Took me, I think, a year or two to move up through belts. And now I sit at a blue belt until I go back. 4 kids sort of slowed that down.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a great little club that do everything up there, boxing and they do kids classes. So yeah, we've been part of them for about 7 or 8 years. I think I've been doing it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Dad's
So
been
that's
doing it
and how long out of that 7 or 8 years were you doing it full time to get to a blue belt?
so I only done it once a week. They only just started up not long ago, 2 nights a week, but I was doing it once a week for a while. They're straight, probably I don't know, 4 years I think.
Yeah.
With Dad every week up there, and then it slowed down as I got pregnant. I got my last belt when I was pregnant, so they let me do a little bit easier, but I had to show what I could do. But yeah, so I had to give that up in 2017.
Yeah. That's crazy. And so you said that your dad obviously already had it in Wing Chun. Does he then have further belts through these ones now? How does that work?
So he's got, so he's a senpai, which means he's a teacher.
Yeah.
Like at that level, he has these. I think it's a brown belt in Wing Chun, and he's got his black belt in KJK, and he's going for his second Dan, I think now.
Yeah.
But he's sort of had to slow down with work and stuff too.
Yeah.
So he loves it. He's up to weapons and some pretty fancy stuff that's cool to watch.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's cool that they do it all from there. Again, I didn't know that was something that existed, because as we were saying just before we got started, it's a mixed martial arts gym, but it's not an MMA gym, which is where they're cage fighting and putting it all together. This is where they say your gradings and the belts that you move through focus on particular disciplines.
Yeah, that's hell cool. I really like that.
Yeah, they're awesome play, and they're just wicked. Like, they really are, and they just completely love what they do. Like, they're really good teachers. They take the time to teach everything. They're just absolute gentlemen, but they will punch you straight in the face if you're not paying attention.
Of course. But I think, again, we've talked about this on the podcast before, the whole and sort of talking about the street smarts as well. Like, again, I think that, and why, I had Winston boxing for a while. I'm about to probably start him doing taekwondo or something, because he really wants to do karate. I'm like, do some kicks, man, do taekwondo. So I'm probably going to, because I want him to have the confidence from it and the discipline from it are the two biggest things that I want him to be able to have.
I love the fantastic things. That's awesome.
He loved doing the boxing, but then obviously we're doing soccer and stuff as well, which he loves. So I'm going to start him, now that soccer's done, I'm probably going to start him doing something soon like taekwondo, because he really enjoys it. And I just think it's so important, because you're almost guaranteeing your son's not going to be a bully, because they understand the level of respect that comes with being allowed. And when they love going to that place, and they understand if that place was to find out that you're going and kicking some kid in the head being a bully, you're going to be fucking barred. And that is, the fear of that, I understand from any mate that has been doing that over the years. That's one thing that you're never going to want to do, because losing that respect from the people that have got you to the level that you are is the scariest thing.
It is a funny thing that you just instantly feel that, when you go in, even like when we go up to the dojo, it's a gym, it's a school gym, but we bow. We bow to the dojo.
I used to do that as well. Yeah. Bow into the school gym.
And you love that place.
Yeah.
It's your dojo. And it's always please, thank you, how can I help you? It's a true, respect of a place and of the people and the skills that you're learning.
Do they make you speak any certain language?
No, they can. No, okay. They can. He sometimes speaks. My sensei sometimes speaks Japanese, I think.
Yep.
But he doesn't make us.
Yeah. Okay.
But he will say a few odd words that he tells us what they mean. But
So that was a part of my training as well, was to learn Korean as well, which is really interesting.
I think he's like a mad belt of everything. So he.
That's awesome.
He even went over to Japan or China and learnt over there.
Yeah, so that would be a trip.
Yeah. So, and they love it. They just dedicated to it. It's awesome.
And where's this place, sorry?
Surrey Downs.
Yeah, okay. So
they do it at the Surrey Downs Primary School.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. They've got them on Facebook too, if you ever look them up.
We'll give them a share.
Yeah, definitely.
When we talk about when we share your episode once it's out.
Yeah, awesome.
We had some blokes from called The Next Step Australia, who they are massively focused on men's mental health.
Yeah.
And he, I can't even remember what it was that he does, but he does jiu-jitsu and something else. One of the guys from that group.
Yeah.
And the things that he was talking about as well, just about, how blokes are coming into the gym, and then, he's through working with them, through doing stuff, he's able to obviously help them with whatever discipline they're working on. But then it ends up turning into conversation.
Yes.
He now knows, all right, it's because he's focusing so hard on trying to open up those conversations.
Yeah.
So then he starts pushing the envelope with these blokes to open up and
Yeah.
have those kind of conversations while also doing that thing.
Yeah.
And then finding out, you know, that they're having a really tough time or whatever, that things that they might not otherwise come out with. And that ends up getting them more into it. Because now I've come to this place and not only am I learning this thing, they've now cared about my life. And they're, so then they're right dedicated into it. And
it's a
I just
safe
think
place.
that there's such an importance to that kind of stuff that, look at the world right now.
Yeah.
It's so fucked. We're living in, you know, the most miserable time of my lifespan, you know, 30 years. And, you know, it doesn't look like it's necessarily going to be any better in the next couple of weeks. So looking at all of these things that we can do, whether it's this fucking podcast, your thing, what he's doing, it is just so incredibly important.
It's definitely important to get out, reach out to people at the minute. So.
Yeah. Now, you've wanted to do a boxing fight for a while, and I know you've talked about this for a long time. Why now?
I don't know. I guess because the kids are sort of in daycare, and then the other two are at school. So that gives me time to train. Like I have to get the fitness up first.
Yeah. And I know you've been running your ass off.
I never had a problem with fitness, obviously, before I had the kids, and then I had the kids, one kid, then I had the kid straight after it, and that just killed me. So it's taken me a long time to be able to get back
on the treadie, or you actually hit the...
No, actually running.
Actually running, yeah.
So I try and do... at one stage I was doing like 1K one day, 5Ks the next day, the street smarts, netball, and then trying to do another 1K. I was trying to get it in 5 minutes, and I got to 5 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah, I know. I
So
can't
then
you couldn't quite get down
following
to...
the fucking journey on Facebook.
So then I went to 5K. So now I'm trying to get to... Now, to do my boxing, I want to have to get to 2.5 Ks in 12 minutes. And at the minute, I've got it to 16.
Okay.
So
that's pretty good, though. It's not too bad.
But I only do it once every few weeks now at the minute, because I've started a new job, and then just with school holidays and that, I haven't been able to have the time sort of off. So when I get back into it, I'll run 3 days a week and try and do the 2.5 Ks running, and then I do 2.5 Ks walking.
Yeah, that would be hard with like running your business, doing a full-time job, trying to look after your kids. That would be...
I've only got a casual job, but still, it's just still run a household of 8 people, have the 4 kids that work, netball, street smarts.
So is there a person that you want to fight? Or is it just like
whoever's the shittest.
Just line me up with whoever I can.
So it's just across. So I just decided that I wasted a whole lot of my youth. Just wasted it, really. And I decided I had a bucket list, not because I was going to die, but things that I should have done and spent my money on and time on that I want to get done. I'm just, skydive and shark cage and have a boxing fight. And
have you done the shark cage
I've done nothing yet. No.
I want to do the shark cage so badly.
Fuck that, dude. I'm not going.
I'm not interested in skydiving at all. But shark cage or
I was until we had Mel on. I was interested in skydiving until fucking she told us her story. But sharks can fuck off.
Oh, yeah, you're not about the old shark.
No. Shark cage would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be so good, hey.
A hot air balloon, skydive, shark.
Hot air balloon would be fucking sick. Yeah. I
Over
saw one
Barossa.
like free fall off a.
Oh, thanks. That's great.
No, like
that's off the list now.
No, he chose to had a parachute on.
Oh.
Like climbed over the side. Someone's got a video camera like pointed down at him, and he's like, "You got a good angle?" And he's like, "Yeah." And you can just see like the city miles below him, and the dude just fucking pops off and like gives him the thumbs up on the way down, and I'm like,
Jesus.
"That's doing that backwards like that would be fucking." Some motherfuckers just have no.
Do you know
fear.
what I think would be wild as fuck? Going in one of them like F-18 corners, obviously not piloting in one.
Yeah,
but
just being in one, doing the roll like the G-force fucking rolls and shit.
That'd be nuts.
That'd be killer.
Yeah.
I even do that. Get some pilot on here.
We'll get someone hook us up. Yeah, with the 50% off the F-18s.
So you've never, because obviously you've never had a fight before.
No.
But look, I feel sorry for any bitch who gets in the fucking boxing ring with you. Knowing you as the person that I know you as, I'm not gonna wish her any luck at all. You will probably murder some bitch. So I'm excited. I hope that it happens. I would love to fucking be there ringside.
That'd be cool.
In a bikini. In a bikini with like a ring girl fucking.
The ring ranger they call it.
Yeah, the ring ranger. That's so good. That's never been done before. Is there a timeline on when you would like to be able to make actually fucking put yourself or register yourself for?
Not really. So I just started talking to him about it properly. I reckon I'll give myself to the end of the year just training the fitness, and I've only just started doing. So I can box offense, and I've just started learning defense. I don't know if you've seen the other night. Dad punched absolute head in. I had a helmet on.
Yeah.
But he said, you've got to learn to take a punch. Oh, man. I was not expecting that.
Yeah,
And he just punched me around the room. So we had good fun, though. But I've got to definitely work on that. Like, I've sparred. But, that was...
Obviously, there's levels to this
Oh,
shit.
yeah, this was...
You would naturally also be, like, lifting your feet up, like, wanting to kick too, wouldn't you?
Nah.
Really?
So before I'd done any martial arts, I used to train with Dad at Foxy's. That's where I started sort of fitness and stuff. Like, that was mainly for fitness. But that's where I started to learn to box. So boxing's always been my first.
Right.
go-to.
Okay. So you're more comfortable with your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can kick, but I don't tend to lift
It's
my
not
legs
natural.
box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's just, but you've been doing offense almost forever.
Yes.
So now you're
and not
actually
realising
learning.
that there's defense to this
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah. Head
Oh, yeah.
movement, all
Well,
of that.
yeah.
shit is
It's
It's
massive.
either you
Yeah.
get extremely fit and only do offense, or you have a bit of defense too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm struggling with this fitness shit. Like, I just love chocolate and just
Yeah.
too much.
No, that's fucking awesome. And obviously, as you've mentioned a couple of times, so you're a mum of 4, 2 of your own, and
Yes.
2 of another person who you are now fucking co-parenting awesome
We
with.
are,
But
yep.
it hasn't always been roses, I
No,
know.
it took us a little while to get there, but we're in a real good place now.
Yeah, which is such, again, going back to how much we talk about the mental health stuff here, it's something that I've appreciated watching, even just I see, Aaron tagging his ex in stuff
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's just like this, that's such a cool thing that
Yep.
just doesn't happen almost ever.
Yes.
And for, 2 kids of that age to be involved, and you've got 2 of your own, and does she have another...
No,
No,
she's
she
got a
has
partner, but then they don't have.
But they don't have another one yet.
Not yet.
But still, there's a lot going on.
Yes.
And for you guys to all just be in such a good place, because at the end of the day, and not saying that you guys weren't doing this when it wasn't all roses, but I know a lot of people can be very selfish in those times, and they're
Yeah.
not thinking about the most important thing, which is the
Yeah.
little one.
Yeah.
Or the little ones, and and the proof's in the pudding. When it works like with you guys,
Yeah.
you can see the difference
Yes.
in the kids and see
Yeah.
the difference in their mental health and everything as well. So it's so cool that you guys are able to do that,
Yeah.
and it must just make the stress levels for you guys.
Yes, like it too. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like, I watched both, like, Aaron and his ex, like, struggle. Like, both of them, they were just angry and hurt, and it was just a mess. Like, the kids sort of didn't really know. They obviously know something's going on, but they don't really grasp what, the seriousness of it. And as we sort of got over our hiccups and became civil, and then we ended up friends, and now we're, now she's got a new boyfriend and he's wicked with the kids. Like, they're great. They both, got a nice place they love, and they go out and camp and motorbike and stuff all the time. They're in a really good, happy spot, and that makes the kids in a really good, happy spot, which makes us in a really good, happy spot, And like, people always have a giggle. Like, sometimes we send the older 2 home and we send the little 2 with them, like back to her. So she'll even have them. Like, even Isla slept over to her house, like, with them. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the kids are like, they don't. That's what we want them to know, that it's not just because Aaron and just because it doesn't work doesn't mean it's to do with them. Like, you make it work for them.
And that's so good. That's not promoting that toxicity for the future.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, had some blues, like, and it took us a while. Like,
But you worked on it, and I think that's the thing, is that some people just give up and
Yeah.
just assume that there's no place in which things can be better, or actively contribute to making it worse, and sabotaging any chance of that kind of, and that's like more common than not. You know what I mean? It's more common that there's so much bitterness and so much resent, and that they can, like, it's that whole thing of, like, if I have to, like, be civil with this person, I'm, like, discounting and that's not what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, it's about making your life easier for starters, because it shouldn't handover be easy where you're like,
Yes.
oh, what's been going on? How's work? Whatever it might
Yeah.
fucking be. And because even if they don't know the severity of it, kids can pick up on energies.
Yeah.
They know when that
Something's
drop
wrong.
off is
Yeah.
awkward. They know when there's that, like, tension in that room,
Yeah.
when you've got to have the crossover between the 2.
Yeah.
So they might not know, understand why it is or whatever, but they feed off of that,
Yeah.
and that's where they start to think: is it me? Am I the reason that this is
and
a
I
thing?
don't, I don't want to teach the kids that's, this is the way you treat people. Like, that, full stop. That's, that I'm their mum in my heart, but I know that she's their mum, and I've got to love her because the kids love her.
Yeah.
So I'm with her forever. Like, whether you like it or not, you can't get away from that person. Like, you might as well make the best of it and teach the kids that this is how you treat people. You don't,
Yeah.
you don't need to be an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't get you anywhere. It's like, making things hard for other people to make yourself feel better. It's not the way you treat people.
Yeah, and look, there are exceptions. Obviously, when people are abusive or they are whatever, and they do not deserve to have something to do with them, completely different scenario.
Yeah.
But this is for the scenarios where there's no reason at all that person shouldn't play an active part, and that there shouldn't be a place in which the parents can get to make it as easy for.
We have, we have them 50% of the time, and we school events and stuff, we all go, Aaron's Aaron's mum and dad and stuff go, and her mum and dad, her mum's goes, but for Summer's birthday last year, we all went away, we stayed together, and everyone's like, oh, where are you staying? We're like, we're staying here with them, and everyone's like, wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So good.
But the kids loved it. It was the best thing that,
because they've got everyone. They got, there's no missing the other because they're all there.
Yeah.
And I love that photo that goes around on Facebook where it's they're at the soccer game and it's mum, stepdad, that thing. I just love that. I think that's so cool because again, there's not enough of it.
Yes.
And all you hear, and obviously, we talk about it from the mental health stuff all the time. The blokes groups that I'm in, like SA Brothers and whatever, and it's just want to see my kids but can't, want to see my kids but can't, and as I said, not taking away from the fact that I'm sure there's some of them that do not deserve to or have done whatever, but you read some of them and you're like, if the way that you're talking about this says to me that it's genuine that you want to and that you're trying to whatever. So, I believe that there are and look, the suicide rates and everything speaks for themselves. That, there are those people and they're the ones that it really hurts my heart for because I'm like, because the flip side of that is there's plenty of, parents that don't give a fuck and don't want to see their kids. Yeah. So when you've got someone who genuinely does want to and can't, and for whatever reason that it is, if it's not something, like I said, that they're abusive or whatever, which they're completely not what we're talking about here, but when they are just trying to play a part and that person, for whatever reason, is trying to make it that they can't. Yeah. So to be able to not only have you guys not doing that, but then co-parenting at the level, and just to go back to what you said, I think that's incredible that you also are like, if the girls want to go there or whatever, and that she's happy to do that, because you don't want a situation where the girls are like, well, what's this whole, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, you're always here, and they go, and then they're like, well, I want to see my bro and this kind of thing, so that they can. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Ella said to me one day, she's like, is Kirsty my second mum? I'm like, well, you know what? She kind of is, because she's the kid's mum. So in her eyes, if she's there, she's their mum, and I'm their stepmum. Why isn't Kirsty her second mum? Well, she kind of is, because as a family, we're a unit. We're going to be, together regardless.
And if her and her partner decide to have another one,
we're trying to make it, because then we don't have to.
Yeah, that's right. But then you'll do the same thing. You'll be like, hey, when they grow up or whatever, you'll be like, hey, come over. So
I love babies. I just don't want to have any more.
Yeah, no, well, I can't even. I've got one, and Erica is. We are still up in the air about having a second one.
She's pretty hard against it. She's like, I don't know. I think one's enough.
Yeah, I'm fucking hard against it. She's keen as. And we probably will at some point in time. But that's the problem, though.
That's the be cute as overload.
The second one's probably a cunt. Right?
Let me tell you, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Well, with my two, Indy, she's the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen in my life, but she's Satan.
Yeah. And you can almost you can see it in there. You can see it in her eyes a bit. Yeah. I've couple of her birthday parties or whatever. I've just been like, oh my goodness. Yeah. And that's what I'm worried about. I've got the angel. Do I have Satan next? And that's what I'm scared of. But I'm scared. I know I would be a fucking amazing dad to a girl, but it also petrifies me.
Yes.
So I've gotten lucky. I've gotten my boy.
I think it would be the teenage years of a girl that would be hard.
Well, someone was, someone said the other day, they were just talking about their kid being like, I fucking hate you, dad. And I'm like, if I ever get that, I'm going to literally cry in my fucking room. Yeah. I'm the biggest pussy in the world, and I cannot even fathom the idea of my little one telling me that they fucking hate me. No, anyone else is fine.
Anyone else.
It's my son.
Just your son, yeah.
He fucking loves me at the moment. So I'm just worried about the day where he's like, you're a cunt. Yeah. It's just going to happen.
It will at some point.
When I'm like, you're not going out with that. The crazy thing for me is realizing, and everyone does it, but all of those things that hit you as well, where you're just like, man, my parents were right about so much shit.
I know.
And thinking about the fact, for example, me wanting to get in my mates' cars that had just gotten their fucking Ps
Yep.
and the stupid shit that they did.
Yep.
And
All
I
those
was
drunk times on the oval where you just like pass out in the oval.
Right.
You fucking
In a
could
field, in
die.
a random
yeah,
field.
like all of those things. Well, like the biggest one for me was, hey, mum and dad, I'm in year 11. I want to go to schoolies. No, you can go next year when it's your actually schoolies. I don't want you going down there. Okay, no worries. Well, I'm going to go stay at Levi's house then. Go to schoolies, right? And we even get back the next day, and I think I might have told this before, but the weirdest fucking thing happened where we've gotten back to Paralowie. Levi, my mate, has to start work at HJ's, and I'm about to walk home afterwards and just pretend that like he's dropped me off. And he goes to get some money out the ATM at the Coles there across from the HJ's, and when he pressed the button to lock his car, the Coles alarm started going off.
Oh, what?
At 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no.
So we're shitting it because we're like, what the fuck? Like, and so then cops like roll up within 5 minutes of the alarms going off because obviously they automatically send a signal to the cops. Then we're getting grilled by the cops, like, what did you do? And we're having to say, we literally locked the car and it set the alarm off, which sounds like the most bullshit thing ever. But then we kind of were like, you know, I used my like classic fucking J-man diplomacy, and I was like, if we had done something, why would we be standing here like two fucking... I'm like, he's got his HJ's uniform on. He's about to go and start work. Clearly, you can't see any fucking break-in, like full... And he's like, oh, we've got to take your details anyway. And then I'm like, fuck, now, like, what if they're like...
no.
I'm like, well, at least I'm back in the hood, so if they say, I can just say that I came down here. There's still not going to be anything to do with the fact that I was at schoolies, but like just freaking out at that time of the fucking morning.
And that's going to be Winnie. He's gonna be like in year 11.
Full stitch me up. Yeah, he's gonna be like, I'm just gonna stay at fucking whoever's house and neck mins in a brothel or something. Like, so bad. So the amount of times that I got fucking shot at one time.
Yeah, you did tell that in the podcast actually.
And you know all of that, and I'm like. When it happened, and I was so fucking like traumatized from it, but I didn't tell mum and dad because they're gonna stop letting me go out.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like if Winnie told you he got shot at. You'd be like,
I'd be like,
stay home.
who's never going out the house again. So it's crazy how right your fucking parents were about everything. But I try not to tell them that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't listen to this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting some fucking I told you so's. So what was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about? Obviously, the Street Smarts now, where are you operating out of?
So the Salisbury Sharks United Soccer Club in Salisbury North, just on I think Decimal Road. Mm-hmm. We only do one night a week. It's only Tuesday nights from 7 to 8, and it's only $10.
That's so good.
So, but it's every. Well, we didn't train last night. We were a bit lazy, but we train every other Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we do a bit of fitness, bit of boxing, bit of self-defense.
How do people, do they just rock up?
Yeah,
do they contact you first?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're there.
Book an appointment.
Nah.
Yeah.
We're
Book a fucking bit of elbow soup.
We're not very big at the minute. We probably normally have between 3 and we've had up to I think 7 or 8 was our biggest class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I don't think we found. I mean, we even done so I had Mitcham Girls School contact me on Facebook and asked me to come and do a demonstration down there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then COVID kicked in, so we couldn't go. So we ended up doing it by a video. So we filmed a video for them. They wanted 30 minutes. We only did 10 because I just don't do public. I don't do videos.
Well, you fucking smashed this out the park well. Came in full of nerves, but you have not skipped a beat so far, so you should be pretty proud of yourself.
Just almost wrapped Mitch in Girls School. Couldn't say it properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So we done it via film. But I said to them, "How did you find us?" And they said that we were pretty much the only women's self-defense group they could find.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we Googled some and we couldn't really find any either. It was like more dedicated, taekwondo or karate and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
And think about it, as time rolls on and obviously, the kids get a bit older, start going to school and whatever, you can start really sinking time into reaching out to the schools and being like, hey, we're one of the only...
We were going to do a school, it was for the teachers, but I think with COVID and everything, it sort of fell through. But that was going to be once a week for the teachers after school. So if we get into schools, it would be pretty cool. But again, it's just a bit dangerous, the stuff that you can teach them. You don't want the kids running around schoolyard gouging each other's eyes out and stuff.
But you could, as you said, you guys are learning as you go. So then you modify a program for school kids that's more about, again, really focusing on the confidence aspect and just the general stuff that can allow them to feel like they can handle themselves in a situation.
Yeah. So we're big on the school stuff. If we do like back. So if someone grabs your backpack or especially with girls, if you grabbed your hair from behind, stuff like that. So we like to teach them that, and then like we sort of alter it a few things so that the moves they're doing wouldn't end up getting them suspended. It would more be that they were actually defending themselves.
That's right. And you would just work on that. If that's something that you guys are like, all of a sudden schools are lining up, you're like, okay, we're gonna hold back on the nut kicking eye gouges and just focus on the actual techniques. But I mean, again, there's clearly an avenue for it and a need for it.
I mean, it's pretty sad that we're the only. I mean, it's good. Well, it's good for us, really. But
but it's sad when you think about it. I just didn't want to.
You think about how big Adelaide is.
Yeah.
There's a million plus people here. Yeah. It's not small.
No one's found that as something that they should focus on. And there's fucking how many boxing gyms, how many MMA gyms.
But do you know what I found was the women got the most confidence once we taught them how to box.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they were sort of like, they couldn't really work out, like the confidence wasn't there. It was just, but when you teach them to box, the confidence skyrockets. It's like they think because they know how to throw a punch,
now that
they have that confidence to throw the punch. Yeah.
But the problem is though, is that how getting a woman that's already, struggling with the confidence issues or whatever that would be looking for this kind of thing is not going to walk into fucking boxing gym.
Yeah. Well, that's
9 times out of 10.
Even I wouldn't go to the gym. I've been training for years, but I wouldn't go without, like, I went to the boxing gym with Dad because that was his. That's where he went.
And you got the confidence through going in with him. You're just walking in on your own.
Yeah, nah.
It's even been for me. Like, I've wanted to do Muay Thai for ages, but that walking in as a fucking newbie, like if I could go to somewhere with a friend and I knew that they would make sure that I didn't get the shit kicked out of me or whatever. And I'm sure there's plenty of places that I could walk into that wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that's an anxiety for me. Where it stopped me from going and doing it because I don't want to be that fresh face that doesn't know anyone. And
but that is totally normal for any sport, let alone martial arts. Like how hard it would be, because I've always wanted to do jiu-jitsu, like a grappling martial art, because I've only ever done striking. Yeah. So it's like, but I just don't want to go in there by myself, even though it's really weird. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, but I don't want to go in there and somewhere new, and like it's. So I completely understand what you mean. So I guess creating that environment would probably be like the hardest part for you guys.
Yes, and getting them. So we put some music on and we get them to we have a joke and a laugh and we sort of try to get them comfortable. Like we're not, and that's what I like. Like I'm not exactly this muscly, skinny, fit girl, and Dad's a bit older, and so like you're not walking into this gym where they're all fancy pants. We're normal everyday people, like trying to teach normal everyday people.
Yeah, that's so good.
So we have a dance. Even Dad will have a dance, like trying to make the girls have a laugh and put some song whatever they want on, and just try and get them to be comfortable.
Yeah, that is actually probably the biggest part when you start.
Actually, now that I sort of think about it, we've got to you go in down and we've got a set warm up and stuff, and then we've sort of made it. We've gathered like what they enjoy, what seems to make they lose concentration or they don't really seem as interested. So we sort of work on what they want, and then we give them the few minutes to say like, what is it you want to learn or what do you want to go over? Because the thing with the self-defense, there's no structure to it. We can't say like, once you complete this, you're a black belt.
Yeah, you're not giving out belts. You're not doing gradings and stuff.
And like I said to you, all it is really is repetitiveness. Yeah. Because you need to hammer this stuff into them so that it becomes an instant reaction. It's the first thing they do.
Have you ever thought about maybe going, all right, we're going to plan out like levels and go
We did start to think about that, but it's hard. Like, I mean, we sort of don't want to pressure people into having to come every week.
Yeah, of course.
So it's sort of like a random thing that if you come to one lesson, I guarantee you'll leave knowing something that could help you.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be at this level, that level.
Yeah.
Even fitness wise, like we're not going to push you past the point of, you're dying on the floor.
Yeah.
So we try and alter it. Like, we always ask you, have you got any medical issues or restrictions or something like hinder what you're doing? You need to tell us so we can work around it, because there's nothing that we can't sort of get around.
Yeah.
That's what's so good with it, is that we can just alter any of it to anyone.
Yeah,
that's so
like
good.
Even size wise, like short, tall, like big, small, young, old. It doesn't doesn't matter.
No discriminating, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want it just to be for super small girls, because because then you're not going to have the bigger girls that want to come in, so you want to be able to.
Yeah.
And we like to get them some fitness to keep their heart rate up, so they feel like they've done the training. They're getting something out of it, not just learning something, but it's a bit of a like cardio workout.
Well, releasing the endorphins from doing that workout, and then also learning and taking confidence from that. They're going to get in that car and the drive home. They're going to feel good, and they're going to want to come back and do it again. No, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad that you've come on and told us about this. And look, hopefully, if this even gets the name out there a little bit more and gets an extra person in there, and obviously, as I said, hit up the Facebook page, hit up our chat. If you want to find where to find them, and we'll point you in the right direction, and we'll share the page on our Wormholes. We'll share the dojo on our Wormholes as well, because if we can get some more people down there.
The more the merrier. It's such a good
they'll
thing.
love it. They're so good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How big, like in terms of people, like how big is that?
Well, they have I think the kids classes are up to 20 kids.
That's insane.
That's
so cool.
At the minute, that's what they were running. The adults, I think there's about 10 of them maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Sort of varies, but they can take, there's, like I said, there's teachers up there. There's three or four that are qualified to teach you some real ass kicking. So they're a great club.
It's so important, because school is so hard as well, and I think that this is where the importance of this and sport for kids cannot be understated.
Well, the social media crap.
Because
we're screwed. We didn't have that shit at school.
No,
that's
I had
Snake.
Yeah.
And now it's you go to school, you get bullied. You go home, you get bullied, because it's on your social media. They're
See, that's the problem. It's non-stop, eh?
Absolutely, they can't escape it.
Yeah.
And they can't help themselves. They're on it. What are they saying, and what are they doing? And it's the kids, these 13-year-olds killing themselves. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We just got to we're sort of going to get to them before that point. Teach you how to treat humans. How to be a human.
Well, have you heard about what Facebook have done? They did essentially a psychological test. They took a group of a sample group. I think it was 70,000 or something like that, right? And then they showed half of them they tweaked the algorithm for half of them to show them happy and positive things more than anything else, and they tweaked the other half to show them anger and sadness, and it actually affected their emotions.
Wow.
It was actually proven that.
Yeah, because if you're scrolling through your feed and you're like, this is
it's
fucked.
depressing, angry, whatever.
So how would our kids gonna react when if all they're seeing is their bullies or their classmates, whatever? And you
can't. If it's not TikTok, it's Snapchat, it's Facebook, it's it just doesn't stop for them. I don't know. It scares the shit out of me when my kid, by the time they get to high school, I don't know what they're gonna be.
Yeah, what it's going to be like.
Exactly.
It's going to be fucking implanted in them, probably. But that's where, I think that the importance of this stuff and sporting clubs as well, and it's funny because I wanted to say that when I was playing at Salisbury North, your dad, the great black belt, was actually my coach, and I didn't know. I started hanging out with you, and I've gone to your house one day, and there's my fucking Salisbury North coach. And one time when I was in that football club, because I was in under 15s, I think, at the time, and the under 16s above us, or maybe I was 13s and they were 15s, I reckon. And the ones in the 15s were a bunch of fuckwits. And they kept all the time, they were training at the same time. And they kept fucking kicking footies over in our direction, in our huddle all the time, just to fuck with us. And one day, one has just clean sconed me in the face, and your dad's marched over there and threatened to kick the fuck out of whoever it was. And I was what a man! And from the sounds, we would have fucking killed him too.
What a legend.
Should we get into the questions?
Let's do it.
All right. So, I don't know, have you listened to the podcast at all?
Oh, I've listened to a little bit too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, shit, friend, and make sure you sort that out. Right.
So we fire a whole bunch of predetermined questions at all our guests, and we call them questions. Okay. Right. So do you want to hit it with the first one?
Yeah. First question, nice and easy one. What is your favourite song of all time?
Oh.
Now, you can give us... I love how we always fire it off and then we go, you can give us three and then try and pick one. But we try to narrow it down to just one.
We've had everything,
though. Cruising. It's like beach. It used to be beach ball, but now it's cruising. Dennis Simmons.
Oh, yeah. That old,
it's ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely one of my all-time favourites.
It's like Nari and Milani, I think. Is that who it is?
Yeah, something like that.
We haven't had that before.
Yeah, that's a good old trance song as well, yeah.
Yep, that's a good grooving song. That's probably my all-time favourite.
Yeah,
nice. Fuck yeah, that is a good tune as well.
Four Strings.
Yes, by...
It's a four-string song too. I can't remember what it's called, but that's definitely one of my favourites too.
Does that take me away? Is that
That's the one.
Yeah. I know my old school
on it,
trends.
bro.
We haven't talked about old school trends, but
we
that's my
haven't.
fucking.
Yeah.
That's some of my jam. There used to be a. We used to have a 3 CD thing that someone burnt for me. And it was like Gatecrasher Classics, and
okay.
it was like a triple CD,
Wasn't
and I had a fucking CD player. Oh, I had a lot of them too, but this was like all UK, like very UK trance stuff. And I remember because mum and dad, they'd bought my car for me, and I was trying to wipe off some of the debt, and so like I told them I would paint the fucking back pergola, and it took me quite a few weekends to finish it. And I just had those 3 CDs on the whole time. So every time I hear one of those songs, I'm fucking wax on, wax off.
Nice.
Painting fucking pergolas. But yeah, no, that's all that old like Beach Ball, fucking For an Angel, all of those old Paul Van Dyke, Paul Oakenfold.
Yes.
That stuff's good, man. All right, question number 2. Go.
Question number 2. Who's your favourite comedian? That could be stand-up or actor. No,
Yes,
you can't
finally.
say this
Can't
yet.
say
Finally, someone's giving him the ego boost that he needs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went and seen who's that guy that fucking he's real nasty. He swears at everyone. He says really
Pretty much everyone.
I
Yeah.
can't remember his name. I went with Rowie and seen him.
Jim Jeffries?
That's the one.
There, Jim.
Yes.
Man, I'm nailing all of these
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
wavelengths.
Reading their mind, bro.
See?
Yeah, no, he's good.
He was funny. Yeah, we got really drunk, so I don't remember half of it, but I remember the first half was pretty good.
Me and Ricky went to, did you ever watch Mighty Boosh? You would have watched Mighty
Oh
Boosh.
no, I just listened to you talk shit.
Yeah, right. So
You tried to make me watch it, and I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
It
I
is
couldn't
so
watch it either.
cooked.
Hey, I
It's
couldn't
so
watch it.
cooked. But the main guy from it, Noel Fielding, he did a live show, and Ricky came around to my house to like have pre-drinks beforehand, and like he never smoked weed ever. But because he knew we were going to this show, he agreed to smoke weed with me. So we got fucking stoned as shit.
Yeah.
And I've ended up going to, and it was me, him, and his missus, and we got her to drive. And me and his missus fucking fell asleep halfway through the show. Like both like on his shoulder while he's sitting there like baked ass watching this fucking show. Then he woke us up and we went to the London afterwards. Like had a fucking pep in our step after having a little cheeky nap. Woke up and went to the London.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell, good times.
Do you want to hit it with question 3?
Yeah, question number 3. Have you ever meditated before?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would say not properly, but obviously just tried to block out the noise.
Yep.
Have a minute. Sometimes it's just going out the back and having a ciggy.
Yeah.
Get away from the kids.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah, that's not like Siggy is a fucking meditative
Yeah,
state,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Getting
yeah.
away and just being like, leave me the fuck alone for a second.
I've never
and
done
having
it properly, like, but I've sat quietly or listened to music or something like that to try and get your thoughts together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Question number 4.
What's one conspiracy theory that you believe in?
Oh, none.
None?
None.
Oh, there
You don't
go.
believe in
None.
any of them?
Nah.
Interesting.
Never had that before.
Interesting.
I like that. We've got to have balance, right? We've got to
Yep.
have balance.
Yeah,
I've added a new question.
Okay.
We're not doing the next one to follow up to that because I don't reckon who gives a
Well, if
fuck.
she doesn't believe in any of them, then
Then that's the
that's
next
the
question.
answer. Yeah.
This one, because this was actually a rookie suggestion when we started the podcast, and I
Yeah.
did think it was a fucking cool thing. And
We just never listened to him.
But because it's rookie. Well,
Exactly.
why would we?
Yeah.
What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given, or that you would give? So it can be one that you've heard that you stick by, or one that you're like, I'll dish this out.
That's actually a really good one.
Yeah, it's a fucking thanks, rookie. You
Yeah.
fuckhead.
That's a pretty good one. I don't know. I guess I'm massive on just treating people how you want to be treated, or like you can't ever take your shit out on someone else without knowing what it is that they're going through. So someone might do something to you that you don't understand, or you take offensively or rudely or something, but you got to remember that it's not aimed at you. It's like sometimes you don't know what's happened in their day, or their what news they've just had, or and you got to just take it on the chin and be a real friend. That they're the things that you do take on the chin and just say like, are you all right? Are you okay? Or you can't just hate someone because you didn't like the way that it come across, because you don't know what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
So taking the time to give people the time, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. That was fucking awesome. That question is staying in
mainstay.
forever. I love
That's
it.
a good one.
All right, I'm going to hit it with the final question.
Yeah, all right.
All right, this is one where you tell all of our guests to give us a varying degree of answers. I
Yeah,
think.
we've had everything
few.
on the spectrum.
Right, so would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? And don't give her any context.
Wait, one duck-sized
So one big fuck off?
Yeah, so one horse-sized duck.
Horse-sized duck.
Yeah,
right.
or 100... Did I say it backwards? Or
Yeah,
100 duck-sized horses.
You're never asking that question again.
Never. I'm never the one that asks that one.
I stumble over it.
Yeah, you
It's
stumble
hard,
too.
right?
It is.
I was like, a duck-sized horse. Okay.
One duck-sized horse.
Seems pretty
take
easy.
that one.
Fucking stomp that bit.
Yeah, no. It's a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses.
Probably the one.
You go the
horse-sized
one.
duck. I reckon the one.
Yeah, me too.
You give it your all. Just
You could use
Yeah.
training on that.
100%.
Fucking,
Kick the shit out of that.
Fuck, another one for you.
Another
That
one. for me.
horse-sized duck.
We've had a bit of a.
It's gone like
It's
we've
really-
flipped each
yeah.
week. So obviously I'm gonna fuck up all the little horses. I'm just kicking them, stomping them. Whereas he's like I'm taking on the,
I'll just go the one.
big duck.
Yeah,
so
just the one.
we've had a varying degree of. I like that it's not consistent, right? 'Cause I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
want
exactly.
to be wrong every
Yeah, every time. Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, I'll
yeah.
probably change that question too. Well, look, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
it has
for
been
coming
an
on.
absolute
Thank you.
pleasure. As I said, we'll do everything that we can to help get the name out there. This is why we wanted to have you on.
Yes.
Firstly, because you're a fucking sick cunt and I love you to death. But secondly, because I think that what you're doing is incredibly important. And, you know, again, you're a fucking mum of 4 and you're finding the time and you want to be doing your own shit, but you're putting most of that on hold at least for one night a week. But it's
Yeah.
not just that. You've got an inbox to answer. And I understand that from doing the podcast, you know, you're spending time that you don't necessarily have to try and give back.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's not about the fucking money or whatever. It's
Yeah.
about the lessons that you can teach. And like we've had for when we focus on the mental health stuff and, you know, someone reaches out to us and goes, that episode really helped me, or listening to you guys has really helped me, makes it all worth it. You know, we've sold a little bit of merch, but we're definitely not fucking raking in the money. And yet, you know, I've got a little one at home. I work full time. I do stand up.
Yeah.
I did a gig last night. I've got a gig tomorrow night. I do the podcast tonight, you know.
Yeah.
So Erica's fucking hating me. But, you know, again, none of that's money. It's just an opportunity for me to go out. I mean, the comedy thing is more of a hobby, but this is something where, you know, if we can help one person find their way to you, or help one person feel better in their day from listening to us or whatever, there's not enough of that in the fucking world, unfortunately, at the moment.
That's it.
So that's exactly what we're here for. So
Because you never know. Someone could be listening to this, come to you, and then a situation 6 months down the track ends up saving their lives. And that's ultimately what you want, what we want, what everyone wants.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. And that's exactly what we're here for. Someone last night at the show was like, you know, what's the goal out of the podcast? And I explained the whole, you know, the guy who reached out to us and said, you know, he's recently moved to Perth and listening to us has helped him deal with it all.
Yeah, I love that. I seen that. That's
and
awesome.
I was like, that's it. That's it. You know, obviously I want to fucking blow up and quit my job and whatever. You know, that'd be sweet.
That'd be
but
very nice, yeah.
That's a very fucking far-fetched dream. But being able to have someone that can tune in and take something out of it, and like even just messaging us and being like, where the fuck's the episode this week when we've missed a week, because they're looking forward to one
such a
coming
cool
out.
feeling.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. It's nice to know you're not alone.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Absolutely. And everyone's fucking struggling at the moment. Like I had a mate reach out, and again, one thing that I try to get myself out of the habit of now is like I'm always just assuming that people are just doing good. Like, I got to stop doing that. Like I know that they're like, because, you know, we have conversations or whatever. I'm like, that dude's fucking got it sorted out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they hit me with a curveball, and I'm like, it surprises me. And I'm like, why does it surprise you? Because like it just fucking happens.
Yeah.
And I need to try and get myself, like you said, always be thinking of all of the factors that someone can be dealing with.
Yeah.
So even someone like myself who professes to, you know, have a good understanding, I still get trapped in that thing of not proactively thinking about, you know, making sure, or not just being surprised. Not like I'm saying to them, you got no reason to be upset, but I'm just like shocked when they're like, yeah, I'm actually really struggling. I'm like, oh, I would have never guessed that. I'm like, that's the whole fucking point, right? So yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on. We'll give you a massive shout out, and I'm sure that we'll have you on again sometime down the track, and you can tell us about how you now opened 4 fucking dojos, and you're in every school possible, and everyone will know your name. And yeah.
I'll just shout out to the Salisbury Sharks United Club for having us too, because they let us run our stuff out of their club, and they always promote us and support us. And even like they have market days and stuff, they invite us down there to put our little stand down.
That's rad.
So yeah, they're pretty cool too.
Yeah, shout out to the Sharks.
Yeah, I've done. Well, you were there. You came down and did a gig there that night, which was a very
that
strange
place.
gig.
Yeah, I know the place you're
That's
talking
my
about.
club.
Yeah, cool.
That was a strange gig, that one, because it was like stopping everyone partying to listen to me talk. Which was something different, but awesome place. All the people that run that are awesome.
Yes.
Erica's dad also is a part of that club, so he's
cool.
been around that for a long time. So yeah, massive shout out to them as well.
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Ebony.
Thanks, guys.